gabi po sa inyong lahat mga kababayan dito sa Pilipinas at sa ating mga kababayan po sa iba't ibang bahagi ng mundo, ating mga minamahal na OFWs, magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Ito po ay komento ko lang po sa napabalita kanina na naghain na naman ng additional na petisyon ang ilang grupo gamit ang abogado ng One Sampayan. Sambayan actually ito, One Sambayan, pero One Sampayan ang tawag ko sa kanila. Siyempre mga kampon ito, mga minions ni fake nanay. Nag-file po sila ng petition in intervention. Hindi na po kasi sila pwedeng mag-file ng sarili nilang petisyon kasi natapos na po yung deadline ng filing. So, nag-file na lang po sila ng petition in intervention. Ang ibig pong sabihin ay gusto nilang sumali doon sa original na petition na final po ni Atty. Chudorte. At ito naman ang abogado ngayon ay si Howard Calleja. Siya po ang dating abogado ni Saldi Ampatuan ng Maguindanao Massacre. Now he's representing alleged human rights victims. So, under the rules ng Commission on Elections, pinapayagan naman yung mga petition in intervention. Pero po, under Section 3 of Rule 8, Part 3 ng COMELEC Rules of Procedure, nasa COMELEC po yan o sa division kung saan na-assign ang kaso o na-raffle yung kaso kung papayagan po nila o hindi. So, it remains to be seen kung papayagan po ito ng COMELEC o hindi. But at any rate, we will go to the meat of their petition. Tulad ng sinabi ko dati, ang pinagbabasihan ko po dito sa aking komento ay ang report ng Rappler. Kasi ito naman po siyang de facto na mouthpiece ng kampo ni Leni Robredo, ng fake nanay. So, Rappler is the de facto mouthpiece, so to speak. For me, in my belief. Hindi po yan fake news, kasi that's my belief. Okay? So, this is my opinion. Hindi po, I'm not stating a matter of fact, but my opinion na ito yung mouthpiece ng kampo ni fake nanay. So, ang ginigiit po nila, dati, balikan muna natin sandali, yung kay Chudorte na petition. Ito yung original na petition. Pinapadisqualify po nila si BBM dahil nga po sa, yun nga, na-convicted daw siya. But linawin po natin uli mga kababayan, in the case of tax evasion, si BBM was acquitted. Malinaw po yan. Sandali lang. Malinaw po yan. In the case of tax evasion, si BBM was acquitted by the Court of Appeals. However, dito siya niyari sa failure to file income tax return. Hindi naman po siya sinintensyahan ng imprisonment but a fine of 30,000 pesos or more or less like that. So, malinaw po yan. Pero ang grounds for disqualification ay the person to be disqualified must have been sentenced to not less than 18 months in prison, di ba? Yun yung yun yung requirement ng batas. The person must have been sentenced to more than 18 months in prison. Malinaw, hindi sinintensyahan si BBM ng imprisonment. Walang imprisonment doon sa desisyon ng o resolution ng Court of Appeals. So hindi siya pwedeng ma-disqualify on that ground. The other one is kung ang crime involves moral turpitude. Now, sinabi ko na in the case of tax evasion, Bongbong Marcos was acquitted. Ang tax evasion is a crime involving moral turpitude. Malinaw yan. But he was acquitted. So, hindi yan applicable. So, niyari nga siya sa failure to file income tax return, which is not a crime involving moral turpitude. So, hindi yan krimen involving moral turpitude. So, in other words, yung petition po nila Chudorte, yung naunang petition, yung original, last week, hindi po siya pumasok doon sa disqualification, grounds for disqualification dahil hindi naman nasintensyahan si BBM ng imprisonment of more than 18 months. Wala nga siyang imprisonment. Niyari siya doon sa income tax return, failure to file, which is not a crime involving moral turpitude. So therefore, the case is weak. Yung petition nila, weak po yun. So eto na, pumasok na sila Calleja, ang grupo ni Calleja, in a bid na ma-strengthen nila, mapagtibay nila yung petition laban kay BBM. So, ayon nga sa Rappler, ang focus nila ay yung automatic disqualification. Kasi, di ba, niyari si BBM ng Court of Appeals doon sa failure to file income tax return. Ang contention naman ng kampo nila Calleja, actually nila fake Nanay, is that automatic yung disqualification from holding public office kasi may conviction. So, ang pinagbabasihan po nilang batas ay yung 1977 National Internal Revenue Code. This is this is Presidential Decree 1158. No? Presidential Decree 1158, a decree to consolidate and codify all the internal revenue laws of the Philippines. Ito po'y pinirmahan, nilagyan ng Pangulong Marcos. Now, ang pinagbabasihan po nila rito ay Section 252 Paragraph C. Okay? Sa Section 252 Paragraph C, ito yung ginamit ng kampo nila Calleja ngayon, na dahil na-convicted si BBM doon sa failure to file income tax return, ulitin ko ha, sa tax evasion, acquitted si BBM, walang imprisonment, walang moral turpitude. Okay? Walang moral turpitude, walang imprisonment, walang grounds for disqualification under the Tudorte petition, yung original. Kaya nga pumasok itong mga gustong sumausaw para mapagtibay nila yung petition because that was the original petition is really weak, legally speaking. Now, ito, ang pinagbabasehan nila Section 252 Paragraph C ng Presidential Decree 1158. Ang sabi nila, dahil may conviction for the failure to file income tax return, automatic yung disqualification ni BBM. Mali po yun. Ulitin ko, maling-mali yun. Ito, basahin natin ha, yung Section 252 Paragraph C. Wag na lang yung first part because if the offender is not a citizen of the Philippines. It says here, if the offender is a public officer or employee, the maximum penalty prescribed for the offense shall be imposed. And in addition, he shall be dismissed from the public service and perpetually disqualified from holding any public office, to vote, and to participate in any election. Ito yung pinagbabasehan nila. Pero pag binasa po ninyo yung report ng Rappler, wala po yung katagang he shall be dismissed from public office or from public service. Now, mahalaga po yun, mga kababayan. Mahalaga po yung katagang yan. Because if you look at this, no, if the offender, yung, like for example, si BBM, is a public officer or employee. At the time he allegedly committed the crime, he was a public officer or employee. So, seemingly, ostensibly, swak siya sa 252 Paragraph C. Pero nakalagay, in addition to the maximum penalty to be imposed, he shall be dismissed from the public service. Basahin niyo po ang resolution ng Court of Appeals. Walang dismissal of BBM in the public service. So, kung walang dismissal, hindi mag-attach automatically yung perpetual disqualification kasi naka-attach siya doon eh. He shall be dismissed from public service and perpetually disqualified from holding any public office, to vote or to participate in any election. So itong perpetual disqualification, doon ito naka-attach sa dismissal from public service. Ang problema ng mga petitioner na ito, walang dismissal doon sa resolution. Basahin nyo, ulit-ulitin nyo basahin yan, wala doon ang dismissal from public service. Hindi dinismiss si BBM from public service. Kung hindi siya dinismiss, then the perpetual disqualification does not automatically apply. Anong basis ko po dyan? Basahin po nila yung revised rules on administrative cases in the civil service. Yung revised rules on administrative cases in the civil service, ito ang sinasabi. The penalty of dismissal shall carry with it cancellation of eligibility, forfeiture of retirement benefits, perpetual disqualification from holding public office, among others. So, in other words, ang penalty of dismissal carries with it. So, automatic pag may dismissal, no? The penalty of dismissal shall carry with it. So, automatic ang disqualification, perpetual disqualification from holding public office attaches to the dismissal, to the penalty of dismissal from public service. Ang problem is, hindi dinismiss si BBM from public service. Therefore, kung hindi dinismiss si BBM from public service, the perpetual disqualification clause does not, or penalty does not automatically apply. It should have been imposed. Dapat nilagay yun sa resolution because it is not automatic. This is my personal view because dapat may dismissal from public service to make it yung perpetual disqualification automatic. Kung walang dismissal, then it cannot be automatic. That is my personal opinion, my professional opinion. So, kaya sabi ko, mali yung kanilang petition. Nakafocus pa naman sila doon sa Section 252 Paragraph C. Pero hindi nila sinabi. Ang nireport lang nila, yung katagalang ng perpetual disqualification. Hindi nila sinabi na dapat nandun yung dismissal from service. Dismissal from public service. Kung walang dismissal from public service, then it cannot automatically attach. Now, meron din po silang sinabi, may kinote din po ang ABS, Rappler, na sabi ng petitionan, being an accessory penalty, the same need not be written in the judgment of conviction. Kasi sinabi ko rin po ito dati, nung nag-live po ako na, wala yan dyan. Yung accessory penalty of disqualification is not found in the resolution. So, dapat nandyan yan. So, ang sabi nila, may resolution, may decision ang Supreme Court na nagsasabi, being an accessory penalty, the same need not be written in the judgment of conviction. It is unnecessary to express the accessory penalties in the sentence. However, wala pong citation kung anong Supreme Court decision ito. And this was mentioned only in passing. So, I believe this is obiter dictum. So, ano po yung obiter dictum? Ang obiter dictum is simply an incidental expression of opinion. Incidental expression of opinion. It is not essential to the decision. Hindi siya kailangan sa decision. Kumbaga, kulatilya lang siya, palamuti lang siya. And it does not establish a precedent. So if it does not establish a precedent, then we are not bound by that statement, by that opinion of the ponente in that particular decision. So, yun po yung komento ko dito sa kanilang hinain na dagdag na petition laban kay BBM. Mali po yung kanilang focus, nakafocus lang po sila, mali pa. So, wala po tayong dapat ipangamba. And I believe na ibabasura ito ng Commission on Elections if they are fair. Now, palagi kong sinasabi na ito ay bahagi lamang ng black propaganda ng fake nanay nila. Kasi po, kung tingnan po ninyo, nagsimula po ito doon sa opinion piece ni former Justice Antonio Carpio na siyang convenor ng One Sambayan. One Sambayan. And One Sambayan has gone out in total support kay fake nanay. And then on the other hand, si Attorney Calleja is also a convenor of One Sambayan. So hindi mo ma-detach itong mga petition na ito kay Leni Robredo, kay fake nanay. And finally, ito po'y pinaparating ko lang po sa mga fact-checkers na mga peke. Hindi po ninyo ito pwedeng sabihin peke ang mga sinasabi ko. Dahil these are my personal opinion and I have basis of my personal opinion. Alam ko po yung mga ibang nag-share po, tinatagpo nila na fake ang sinasabi ko. Why don't you come to my own post dito sa Facebook at sabihin nyo sa akin that it's fake? Kasi sasagutin ko kayo in the proper forum. So yun lang po mga kababayan. Marami pong salamat sa inyong mga reactions sa pagpanood po nito sa video ito and for sharing this. I thank you so much. And patuloy po tayong lalaban para sa kandidatong minamahal po natin at para sa kandidatong alam nating mananalo sa araw ng halalan. Thank you and God bless us all. You keep safe.